I'm Ryan Shaw, I'm 17 and this is the forestry industry. What interests me is working in the outdoors, and I've also lived around this area for a while and forestry's been surrounding me, so I've wanted to find out a little bit more about it.
We're taking Ryan to forestry owned by Juanita Forest Products. Juanita is based in Mosgiel and managed 30,000 hectares of woodland located between Dunedin and Balclutha. The timber, mostly renewable radiata pine, is distributed to markets in New Zealand, Australia, Asia and the US.
How are you, Ryan?
G'day.
Welcome to Juanita.
Thank you.
I'm going to show you around one of the logging sites.
Awesome.
Logging Planning Superintendent Bruce McDowell is going to show Ryan that a job in the timber industry is a cut above the average.
This is a skid site and landing where actually trees are pulled to for processing.
At the centre of the skid site is a hauler which, as the name suggests, hauls logs to the processing area.
This hauler operation, you can see it's more or less a return rope system. It runs rather like a flying fox, so you can imagine one rope's going in, one's going out. So those 4 breaker outs up there are tying the trees on, and they're going to be pulled into this landing. And this Waratah is actually clearing the chute where the trees are landed and cutting them up in log lengths.
The Waratah has an onboard computer which controls the stripping and measuring of each log. They can be cut to any length required.
And as you can see, they're being sorted out into a nice easy circle area, and that operator and the loader there is then putting them in the individual heaps of the categories.
Hauler operations like this are used when the terrain is very steep. When the going's easier, logs are dragged out by huge tugs known as skidders.
So this is a ground-based operation. There's a tree falling down on the corner here. Right, Ryan, we're just going to grab this tree. We're just going to throw the chain over, link her up,
Yep.
tie her on. That's it. Pass her under. It's okay, it should be all right.
What sort of safety issues are there on a job like this?
Notice the 4 guys up there, got
Yep.
the fluoro vests on,
Yep.
helmets. The guys around here have got their earmuffs, they'll have the visor, sawdust in the eye and so on. You might have noticed when we were looking at the guys' tree falling, they had those safety chaps on. You know, that's for prevent cuts to the legs and so on. And
If I wanted to get into this industry, what kind of things would I have to be good at?
well, it's having a good attitude, which is, is the big thing, and wanting to do the job and come out here. But, if you leave school, there's all sorts of jobs. You can start with on-the-job training, or you could go to Canterbury University and do a degree in forestry science or forest engineering.
The tertiary qualifications lead to specialist jobs, like here in the Mosgiel head office. This computer program accurately maps out the lie of the land and then works out the best place to position a hauler on a skid site. It's very clever software. For every possible hauler position, there's cross-sections of the terrain and the sort of effort needed to haul a log out.
Not all the job is about cutting down the trees. Certainly supervising the guys are doing that, but we've also got to put the infrastructure in, and that's a matter of building the roads so we can actually get to the next lot of trees that we're going to cut down. So it's a matter of surveying the roads, actually getting them put in, and actually supervising the crews that are putting the roads in. Forest engineering, basically.
Before you can harvest a tree, you have to grow it, and the management of any forest is the specialised job of a forester. Paul Greaves, one of Juanita's forestry planners, offers a lesson on where it all starts.
Yeah, Ryan, it was 1 out of 10. Your tree's not straight up and down, and you didn't close it off. You're letting moisture and everything into the ground.
Yep.
And it's, sorry mate, but you'll get it right after 20,000. I enjoy my job. I come to work every day. I don't miss it. I've been doing it for 36 years. I have school cert and that's it. I've managed to work my way up to this position. I'm the estate planner basically for the silvicultural side of the estate.
So how'd I do?
Not too bad that time, Ryan. The road's nice and straight. Spacing's a wee bit close, but other than that, very good. I think you can do it.
The work of managing the forest is known as silviculture, and keeping the weeds down is one of the jobs.
So how many trees have you planted this year in this sort of area?
This year we've planted 1.1 million, so the gang will be working right through to Christmas and picking up every day they can when it's not windy to spray.
The weed killer is selective. It ignores radiata and zaps out everything else.
So how do you make sure you haven't missed a tree?
They work through the block as a group, and they've got all the guys carry paint, and as they're working to an end of a line, they'll mark it in a specific way.
All the forestry work here is done by teams contracted to Juanita, among them Johnson Forestry Services.
Steve Johnson his crew won the Forestry Training Company of the Year awards in Rotorua this year, which was a great achievement for the gang, and it's also motivated them to sort of set goals for more awards in the future.
What we're trying to achieve in this is clear and knot-free timber.
Yep.
Okay, so knot-free timber is everything on the outside of what we've pruned. So this is the defect core.
Yep.
So everything on the outside of this will be knot-free. Okay, and that's what we're trying to produce.
Knot-free timber, known as clearwood, is where the money is. This is the attractively grained wood that's used for furniture and mouldings.
So you've got a coat hanger here that's going to prolong the core, make the defect core bigger. So it's going to take the tree longer to achieve that clearwood. So we're going to have to go through and take these off. That's the minimum standard, so we want every tree like that. Okay.
The forest management side of forestry is a lot more diverse than logging. You're dealing with the public, you're dealing with all our neighbours, 180 of them. You're dealing with all the access into the forest. The other side is the protection of the forest. We deal with fire and we control all the fire areas around us.
So then, how's Ryan done?
I've found Ryan very receptive, very keen to learn. I think that's a very important aspect nowadays. You've got to be motivated and to get into it, and be part of what's going on, and don't be frightened to ask questions.
This experience has been really good for me and helped me to learn a lot about forestry that I didn't know. A lot of stuff that I learned has been how much is involved in actually forestry with planning, planting and pruning, and a lot of it happens back at the office. I had an awesome time, it was great.
There are many national certificates available from Foundation Level 2 and upwards. The certificates from Levels 3 to 5 introduce specialisations such as harvesting, felling, log making and loading, operations and business management. There is a Level 6 National Diploma in Forestry which provides for the comprehensive skills and knowledge needed to manage a commercial plantation forest. The training is facilitated by Competence and may be delivered on the job and/or through polytechnics or private training enterprises. Canterbury University offers specialised tertiary forestry courses in either forestry engineering or forestry science.
Supporting local content so you can see more of New Zealand on air.